What I'm going to go ahead and do now is show how to create a unique kind of a stock, and we're going to keep this for later for machining. I'm going to turn the visibility off. But let's say we got this part in as a cast part, and what I want to do is actually just defeature this part so that I have a representation of it as it is without the holes or the bores in it so that I can use it as the stock model itself. Well, Autodesk Inventor gives us some of the best tools in the industry to do this. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and come down to this solid body here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy object. Now the copy objects dialog box pops up and we're going to do the entire body, and we're going to nest and solidify this as creating a new solid. Uncheck the delete original because I want to keep the original, and I'm going to hit OK. Now what that did is that added another solid body, which is a direct copy of the original part. So I can right click on the original part, turn that off, rename this copy, and we're going to call this cast stock. Now you'll notice that there are no colors assigned to this original copy. It is an exact copy of the part with the exception of the colors itself. So what we want to do is defeature this. Now the tools that we're given with an Inventor to do this are under the Modify panel and in the Direct Edit tool. Now when you click on the Direct Edit tool, we're immediately given this toolbar, and the first option in the toolbar is the default selection, which is move. Now move will actually move geometry based off of selection here. What we actually want to do to start off is delete. So I'll click on the delete tool, and all it wants you to do is select faces to delete out of the model. And it's as simple as going around and clicking on what you no longer want to be part of the file. Now you know I accidentally clicked this face and I don't want to delete this face, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is hold Control and left click on that again. That Control left click deselected the option. Simply left clicking selects an option. So I'm going to select all the bores and all the holes to that, and I'm going to hit the plus sign. Now I'm not going to hit the red X because I'm not done modifying this with Direct Edit. We can go even further with this tool, and we can actually use the Move tool now and pull this face. And again, what this is doing is selecting the anchor point. So I can anchor this to this face to the center point of that arc, and it gives me the pull capability. So I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to say this extrusion is coming in 2 millimeters bigger. So now we have 2 millimeters on this face, on the casting. I'm going to flip it over, and we're also going to get 2 millimeters on this face. So we'll stay in the Move tool. We'll pull this up, and as I pull it up, the dialog box shows up to be able to just enter a number. I can just enter 2 millimeters there. So I've added 2 millimeters to both the top and the bottom of this casting. We're not so much worried about it as a casting as far as these features. These features are already here. However, this feature here, we are going to hope that we're given a little more material on this face. Now, if you use the Move tool on this, it's actually going to want to move the entire feature. Okay, which it's telling us this is not a good idea here. So I want to undo that and go from the Move tool to the Size tool. The Size tool is used on cylindrical or contoured geometry. So as I have that selected, you can see that it's going to pull from that face, and I can pull that out. Now, I definitely don't want 11 millimeters, I want 2 millimeters, which is definitely doable. And now it blended that in to the casting at 2 millimeters. Now we sacrifice that radius on the other side, but what we can do is we can machine that down on that entire face, blend it in, and then machine our threads accordingly. But now we have a direct edited solid cast stock to use within this part. Now we also have the original stock that we created, and we're going to keep that as well. But now we can choose how we want to machine this part based off of one individual part file and nesting all of the options internally into it. Now I'm not saying that's the exact way you would want to flip between the two, but let's say you were starting with the casting and then the customer decided to change their mind and went with solid stock. It's easy to go in and just create one or the other into the file and utilize the direct edit or the creation and sketch tools to create a solid. Now, if you want to know more about design or part design, I strongly recommend checking out any of the other Pluralsight videos out there on Inventor. There should be plenty of content that you guys can check out and get a little bit more out of how to model and design inside of Inventor. And as we've discussed in previous videos, let's go ahead and save our part. Very important to remember to save all of your changes. Maybe we'll go ahead and just change this back, show the visibility of our regular part, turn off our cast, and if you turn that on, you can actually see the difference in the part, see the added stock material, which is great. Let's go ahead and turn that off for now and just save our part so that we don't lose any of our information.